to talk today about the neck and shoulders a bit. And I want to point a couple of things out. The thoracic spine, the upper part of the spine behind the chest, has a natural kyphosis, that's a natural forward bend. But it tends to, over time, become exaggerated. And that leads to this, which of course leads to this, because all of our sense organs are up here. So you can see that as the upper back gets overstretched, the neck ends up getting contracted, and often quite forward. So that's the direction of inertia in the body that we're trying to counteract. And you've heard me say hundreds of times when you lie on your back to spread the arms out and turn the palms up. You might see that what happens when we get into that forward position is that the arm bones actually jut forward a little bit in the socket, and they start actually rolling in. If you notice, I don't do anything, my palms are turning behind me. So just the action of rolling the arms out in the socket begins to reset the shoulder girdle. And this position where we have external rotation in the shoulders gives us a lot better chance of getting the chest upright. And once the thoracic spine is less bent forward, easier to lengthen the cervical spine. So those are some key concepts that we're going to put into action this morning. I want to do one thing while we're standing here, which is when we do the neck exercise later, we're going to have the head in a couple of positions, which sometimes are a little difficult to find on your back on your own. But we start with the flexion of the neck, which draws the chin down, so the back of the neck is long. And then we're also going to work in a position where you have a pure side bend. So you might stand up and just see what it's like to look over one shoulder, and see if you can do that without letting your chin drop down at all. Just purely, if you pick a place on the wall, let your gaze travel across the same height on the wall and look straight out over one shoulder. And then let it track along the same height back to the center and over to the other side. And you may find one side or the other is a little limited, or it might be hard not to go into a bend. My left shoulder girdle is tight, so when I try to turn over to the left, naturally my chin wants to go down, so I really have to be conscious about keeping the head upright. So that's a rotation. We're also going to take a lateral bend. And in this position, we're keeping the nose straight forward and just bringing the ear down. So when we get on the back, we're going to be looking up at the ceiling and keeping the back of the head completely on the mat and the nose pointing right up towards the ceiling. And very rarely in real life would we do just one of those motions. They usually combine. Like if I want to look that way, I'll do naturally everything will go. So isolating them is sometimes a little confusing. Okay, so that said, let's fly down onto the back. And as you settle here into constructive rest pose with the knees bent, notice the effect. Actually, start with your arms at your sides, and you can feel, you might even be able to see a little bit that the humeral head juts out of the socket a little bit. So when you start to turn the palms up and move the arms wider and widen the shoulder blades, way more settled in the upper back. So take a moment to feel that. Check the back of the neck. If it's too difficult to lengthen it without some support, then put a pillow underneath you. You want to have the chin drawn down towards the notch of the neck, rather than letting it jut towards the ceiling. You saw what that looks like when I was standing up and showing you, really compressed in the back of the neck. So we want as long as possible. And settle yourself. Let any tension around the neck and shoulders, the jaw, release towards the floor. As we bring the attention down into the lower core muscles, we're going to continue to allow gravity to work passively on the shoulder girdle and upper back. So we're getting a little natural chest opening. If you have your palms turned up, you've got the humeral heads nicely in the sockets, the shoulder blades are flat and broad, and the upper back is not so, doesn't tend so much to round as it does when we're standing. So we're staying passive in the upper back and bringing the attention down to the pelvis and lower back. Notice the neutral spine position. Take an inhale to prepare for an inner core engagement. And with the exhale, gather the pelvic floor and then wrap the belt of the transversus around the low part of the torso. Relax the shoulders, pause for a moment. And then inhale, soften. Let everything go. Take an exhale and let yourself sink completely down into the floor, letting go of all tension. And inhale, prepare to do it again. Exhale, find the pelvic floor, wrap the belt of the transversus around, keep the shoulders relaxed, maintain that inner core for a moment. And then release with the inhale. And exhale, give into gravity, releasing completely. Again, notice the relaxed state of the shoulders and neck. One more time, inhale, prepare for the inner core. And exhale, engage the pelvic floor, wrap the belt around, maintain it for a moment, relaxing the shoulders as you engage the low belly. And then inhale, relax completely. And exhale, give into gravity. So the low core is essential for the proper functioning of the upper body. Let's try some arm lifts. We're going to keep it nice and easy to begin and then add a little bit of challenge. Please start with your arms floating up to vertical and let them settle there for a moment. So in this position, the humeral heads dropped into the sockets. Last week I showed you in quadruped position when you're on all fours that the femur goes straight into the hip joint in the all fours position. Same thing with the arms. The arms are in their neutral relationship to the shoulder in this position. So drop that humeral head down. And then I'd like you to reach your fingertips up towards the ceiling as though you can touch the ceiling. Pull the arms forward, let your shoulders come up off of the mat. As you exhale, engage the inner core and then just settle the shoulders down and let the humeral heads drop a little bit more deeply into the sockets. And relax everything for a moment. And do it again, reaching up to the ceiling with the fingertips. Try to touch the ceiling. It's going to pull your shoulders up off the mat. With an exhale, find the inner core and drop the shoulders down and the arms down into the joint. And relax with the inhale, everything softening. Shoulder joint is very shallow. It's actually just sort of an indent and supported by muscles. So it's less of a ball in the socket, more of a ball kind of on the socket supported by muscles. That's the rotator cuff. One more time, let's reach the fingertips up to the ceiling. With the exhale, engage the inner core and drop the shoulders down. Let the arms settle into the socket. And then please picture the way that the ball is dropping down. And when we do our arm movements, I want you to be concentrating at the ball end of the movement. We'll take an inhale to prepare for the arm movements. With the exhale, engage the inner core and then roll the balls in the socket so your arms go back. Think what's happening right close to the joint. The ball's rolling back. And then roll the ball again. Instead of thinking of lifting your hands, roll the ball forward and your hands are going to float on top of that movement. And then lower your arms down and let everything relax, and you're still rolling the ball in the socket. Feel it's jutting out of the socket a little bit. With your inhale, float the arms up again. Feel the rolling in the socket, how the ball settles down more securely into the joint. Engage the inner core and reach back. We're still maintaining a neutral lower spine and pelvis, even though we're attending to the shoulders. Keep that ball rolling in the socket. And to get back up, don't even think of lifting your hands. Draw the ball into the socket and roll it as your arms float up towards the ceiling. Your inner core is still active. And then as the arms come down, you gradually release the inner core and settle the arms down at the sides. Let everything go. One more time. Float the arms up, let the ball roll in the socket, and the higher your hands get, the deeper the connection to the socket. Engage the inner core and roll the ball to move the arms back in space, but keep that ball drawn into the socket. Don't let it get pulled away from the shoulders. And to get back up, attention at the ball and roll it. Let the ball settle down into the socket. You're still supporting with your inner core. And then lower the arms down to the sides. You're rolling the ball and releasing gradually in the inner core, and then settle into gravity. Then let's put the hands behind the head. Open the elbows out wide. Depending on where you're tight, you might feel some stretch in the front of the armpit. Put a gentle press down into the floor with the backs of the arms. And then inhale, breathe into the ribs. Let the ribs flare. Exhale, unflare the front ribs, imprint the back ones. Keep the back arms pressed down into the mat. And then relax with the inhale. Let the ribs flare. And again with the exhale, unflare the front ribs, imprint the back ones. Keep pressing the backs of the arms down into the mat. And then relax with the inhale, let everything soften. Ribs are flaring, one more time. Exhale, unflare the front ribs, imprint the back ones, and press the back arms down into the mat. And then relax. Now we're going to do some head lifts. The more you can use your inner core for your support, the less tired your neck will be. We have the hands to support the head for now, but still, maximum inner core. So inhale, prepare. Exhale, find the pelvic floor, the belt, knit and imprint, and only when all of that's set, lift the head up. Keeping your neutral lower spine. Inhale, lower back down. As you lower down, keep the armpits open and press the back arms down into the mat. Exhale, reconnect with the low core, the obliques, and lift again. It's a small lift, neutral lower spine, and lower back down. Back arms press down into the mat. Let the ribs flare. And one more time, exhale, gather the core and lift. And then relax back down and release your arms to your sides. So one relaxed position of the arms is to have them at the sides with the palms turned up. Another is the neutral position of the vertical. So we're going to take the arms back up to vertical. Drop the shoulder joints, drop the arms into the sockets, and then do our alternate leg lifts. So keep the arms nice and relaxed. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, engage the inner core, reach the ribs to the opposite back pockets, keep the pelvis steady, and lift the right foot up. Then flex your foot, pull your ribs together as you extend your right leg out with the heel reaching across the room. Inhale, bend the knee. Keep softening the shoulders even while you engage your ribs. Exhale, lower the foot to the floor. Keep steadying the pelvis and relaxing the shoulders, and take the left foot up. Knit the ribs and reach out through your heel. keeping your neutral spine. Inhale, bend the knee. And exhale, lower your foot down, soften your shoulders, but keep engaged in the low core, and the obliques are still reaching towards the opposite back pockets. Right side again, inhale up. Exhale, flex and reach out through the heel. Inhale and bend the knee. And re-anchor, keep the shoulders relaxed as you steady the pelvis. And left side up. This is a great skill. Exhale, reach away to be able to stay relaxed where you're not using the muscles and engage without tension where you are using them. Let's do one more set. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Keep anchoring the pelvis. Exhale, flex and reach away. Keep the shoulders soft even though you've got your inner core and your ribs working. Exhale, lower the foot back down. Keep anchoring and inhale, left foot up. Soften the shoulders. Exhale, reach away. And inhale, bend the knee. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Exhale, lower the foot down. Steady the shoulders down to the mat. And then draw the ribs down to the opposite back pockets. Open your arms out wide like a T. And just pause and relax in a passive stretch so you can let the work go around the rib cage. Your ribs can be flaring a little bit. And then we're going to bend, make a right angle at the arms so we're in cactus position. Please make your wrists straight. So if your back hands and fingers are off of the mat, don't bend the wrist in order to get them down. Make the wrist straight wherever that puts your hands. Keep the wrist straight, and then as you exhale, press the back of the arms down into the floor. Work your fingertips towards the floor, but don't bend at the wrist to get that. We want this all external rotation in the shoulder, and then relax. Do that again. Exhale. Bring the ribs down to the opposite back pockets and press the back arms down to the mat. Try to keep the wrists straight, even if the fingers don't touch the floor. And then relax. And one more time. Exhale, inner core, and then press back down into the mat. And then relax. If this position is difficult, I'd like you to go back into your neutral position where your arms are floating up to the ceiling. If you're okay here, keep the arms bent in this cactus position. Wherever the arms are, soften the shoulders, engage the inner core, reach the ribs to the opposite back pockets, and lift the right foot up. Imprint, and take the left foot up. And then we're going to go into pistons. Keep those back ribs imprinting, and exhale, lower the right foot down. Inhale, lift the knee, and exhale, left foot down. Keep the backs of the arms reaching towards the mat if they're down in the cactus position. Exhale to lower. Keep the back ribs imprinting. If your arms are up towards the ceiling, your work is to relax the shoulders as you work the low core. One more time with the left foot. And then bring the hands on to the knees, one hand on each knee. Flop the knees out and relax the hips, soften the belly. And then reverse the circles. And bring the knees into the chest. Lengthen the back of the neck. Hug the knees into the belly. And move the knees away from the chest so you have a neutral tabletop. Preparing for the 100, bring the arms down to the sides. We're going to press the palms down into the floor as we engage the inner core and imprint, and then lift the head. Chin in towards the chest. Of course, use support if you need to. Extend the legs out, and then begin pulsing the arms. Exhale for 5 pulses, and inhale for 5 pulses. Exhale, and inhale. So the more you can use your low core, the less strain there'll be on the neck. Exhale for 5, and inhale. If the neck gets really tired, put the head down. Rather than letting the head drop back and the throat open, definitely better to put the head down and keep the chin tucked. Exhale for 5, and inhale for 5. Exhale, Inhale, and one more time. Inhale, and then bring the knees into the chest. Put the head down. A nice, relaxed turning of the head. Center the head, lengthen the back of the neck. We're going to bring both knees over to the left side. Use your left hand on the right knee and bring your right hand down to the side with the palm up. Let your face be pointed towards the ceiling, and then slowly begin to drag the right fingertips out in an arc and find a good range of motion. So go to where you have a stretch. It shouldn't be uncomfortable. And then turn your palm down and bring your arm back down on that same arc. And then turn the fingertips up. Use an inhale to broaden across the chest. Sweep the arm out. Now you don't have to get anywhere in particular. You're just trying to find where there's a good stretch for you. And then turn the palm down and sweep back down. Let's try one more sweep. Bring the arm to where you have a comfortable stretch. Now we're going to stay. Drop the right shoulder down and turn the head and look out over to the right. Good. Take a couple slow breaths. Let the breath continue to open your right side. And rotate the head back into the center. Lower the right arm down below shoulder height, and then bring the knees back into the center. Settle there for a moment, knees into the chest, arms at the sides, palms up. Spread the shoulder blades and relax in the upper back. Gentle stretch in the lower back, but let your attention go to the upper back, the back of the neck. Keep it long. And then bring both knees over to the right side. Use your right hand on your left knee. Face is pointing up towards the ceiling. And then drag the left fingertips along the floor. Make an arc within a comfortable range of motion. And then turn the palm down to sweep the hand down towards the hip. And again, turn your palm up. Let the fingertips drag along the floor, tracing an arc within a comfortable range of motion. Find an appropriate stretch, and then lower the arm down, back down to the side, palm facing the floor. And one more time. Turn the palm up, sweep the arm up. Find a place where you have a comfortable stretch. And then as you exhale, relax the left shoulder, turn to the left side. Gentle pressure on the knee with the hand, and then use your breath to extend the stretch. And then release the left arm down below shoulder height. Turn the head into center. And bring the knees back into the center. Knees bent passively into the chest. Arms at the side. Arms wide, palms up, and sink into gravity. I'm going to bring both hands onto the right knee and straighten the left leg out onto the floor. Lengthen the back of the neck by pulling your chin in towards the chest, and then lengthen your lower back, tucking the the tail, tilting the pelvis, pulling the knee in, flattening the lower back, flattening the back of the neck, and lengthening the front left thigh. Then relax that a little bit. Move the knee away. Find your neutral lumbar curve. Relax the neck. Engage the inner core. Reach your ribs to the opposite back pockets. Take your imprint and extend the right leg up to the ceiling. Hands behind the leg as you flex the foot and then point the toes. And flex and point. And flex and point. Continue to point. Engage the inner core. Keep the leg nice and straight by pulling your knee towards your hip socket. Find your ribs knitting and imprinting. Lower your arms down, please. Palms up and circle the leg. Find as much release in the upper body as you can, and as much steadiness in the lower body as you can. So 5 times one way, and then 5 times the other. Reach the tailbone down. Keep relaxing the neck and shoulders. And then bend the right knee, pull it into the chest, and bring the left knee in as well. Both knees drawn in. As you pull the thighs into the belly, lengthen the back of the neck. And then left knee to the breastbone as you straighten the right leg out onto the floor. Engage the inner core, tilt the pelvis to flatten the lower back. Pull your knee in towards the breastbone and lengthen the back of the neck. And then reach long through the right leg so you feel the stretch in the front right, in the lower back, the front right leg, the lower back and the back of the neck. And then back off of that stretch just a little bit. Feel your neutral curve come into place. Engage your inner core and extend the left leg up to the ceiling. Support it. And flex the foot, point the toes, and flex, and point, and flex, point, keep your point, re-engage your core, pull your kneecap to your hip socket. Ribs are knitting and imprinting, arms wide, palms up. Steady pelvis as you circle the leg 5 times. No movement in the pelvis, keep the ribs steady, shoulders relaxed. 5 times one way, and then reverse 5 the other. Keep consciously releasing the shoulder girdle. And then bend the left knee, bring the right knee in to join it, and rock a little side to side. And then bring the feet up to a neutral tabletop. Relax the arms. Engage the inner, take the arms up towards the ceiling. Soften there. Engage the inner core. Knit an imprint. Lower the right foot down. Keep the shoulders soft and the ribs down. And continue to steady the pelvis. Bring the left foot down. And then lower the arms down to the sides and pause and take a relaxed neutral. We're going to set the inner core, knit an imprint, lift the left leg up, preparing now for the abdominal series. Keep imprinting as you lift the right foot up. I'm going to bring both hands to the right leg, the outside hand to the ankle, the inside to the knee. Reconnect with the core. Remember, the more you use the core, the less strain on the neck. Lift the head, extend the left leg out. Lift the elbows out wide, and then switch. When the elbows are wide, it helps the shoulders drop down. Chin in towards the chest. Again, if the neck starts to get tired and you feel like your chin starts to open towards the ceiling, better to put your head down than to allow that to happen. Keep the chin in towards the chest. Keep anchoring. Of course, we want our neutral lower spine. Dropping the shoulders. And then bring both knees into the chest. Lower the head. And bring the feet down to the floor one at a time. Relax the arms at the sides. We're going to do the first bit of the neck series. Lengthen the back of the neck, shin drawn quite securely down towards the notch of the neck, arms wide, and then put a teeny little press into the back of the head. Now this is not an abdominal exercise, so I want you to unweight the head just enough to slip a piece of paper under it, or maybe not even that much, and feel your neck working. If you feel your abdominals working, do less. If you look at me, you can hardly see that I'm lifting my head. And lower back down and press. You want to feel a lot of work in the neck and nothing in the belly. A little press down and then unweight, like someone's pulling just slightly up on your nose, but you're going to really feel your neck work. And lower the head and gently press down. And do it again. Tiny little unweighting of the head. Please keep it really small. You're barely leaving the floor. My hair is still touching the floor. And then lower and press. And relax. And set the inner core. Get an imprint. Lift the right foot up. Then the left. One hand on each knee. Reconnect with the inner core, knitting and imprinting, and lift your head. Chin in towards the chest for the double leg stretch, neutral spine. Exhale, reach the arms and legs away from the center, then inhale, bend the knees and come back around. Exhale, reach out, and inhale, come back around. Exhale, away from center. Inhale, back in. Chin is towards the chest, back ribs stay imprinted, neutral spines in place. Exhale, reach out, and inhale, come back in. Last one. And hug the knees in, lower the head, relax the neck. And bring the feet one at a time down to the floor. Relax in neutral. Now we're going to continue with the abdominal series. First going to the rotation. So when the head rotates, you're going to be turning your face. Before you start moving, I want you to feel the very back of your head. Let that point drop into the mat. And start to turn the head so you feel like you're aiming your right ear towards that exact point. Your right ear may or may not get to the floor, but in that direction. So pure side bend, pure side rotation, looking to the right now. And then we'll do the same little action that we did before. Little press down, right ear pressing towards the floor, and then barely unweight the head. Lift the left ear towards the ceiling. You're going to feel a lot in your neck, and then lower down and press. Try not to let the head unrotate when you do the little lift. Little press down, and barely lift the head. My ear is still touching the floor. And lower down and press. Keep it really small, but you're going to really feel it in the neck. One more time. Tiny unweighting. Try not to let the head unrotate. Press. And then release back into the center. Let everything relax for a moment. Feel that point at the back of the head where you're touching the mat. And then turn to look to the left. Aim your left ear exactly towards that point. And again, it may not get to the floor or to that exact point, but just pure rotation. And then we start with a little press. And remember, very small as you unweight. You're barely going to leave the floor, maybe not even completely leave it, and then lower and press. Try not to let the nose turn towards the ceiling when you lift. Lift the right ear just a little towards the ceiling and lower down and press. And one more time, tiny unweighting. You should feel a lot in your neck, and lower and press. And then turn to the center. I want to make a note that if you lift too much, you're going to completely kind of miss the neck part of it. So it's very, very small. Okay, we're going to set up for the next part of the abdominal series. Engage the inner core, keeping the shoulders relaxed. We'll lift the left foot up. Imprint, and bring the right foot up. Find your neutral spine and gather all your core muscles around it. Lift the head. We're going to go to the single straight leg stretch. Both legs are straight, and you're going to hold the one that's pointing up towards the ceiling. Again, Try lifting the elbows out wide. That'll seat your shoulders down in the sockets better. Chin in towards the chest. Put your head down rather than strain the neck, but see if you can do at least a couple with the chin into the chest. You can actually pull against the leg to increase that hamstring stretch. And then bring the knees into the chest. Lower the head, relax the neck. And one leg at a time, back down. Arms wide, shoulders relaxed. Now we're going to intentionally tilt the chin up towards the ceiling and do the next series like this. So we start with a little bit of a press into the back of the head, and now let the chin be pulled straight up towards the ceiling. Again, please make it really small and lower down and press. And a little lift straight up and lower down and press. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Last time, chin is pulled gently, just a tiny bit towards the ceiling, and lower and press. And then relax and bring the head back into the flex position and soften the neck. And re-engage the inner core. Keep the shoulders relaxed, ribs knitting and imprinting. Lift the left foot up. And then the right. We're going to get ready for the double leg stretch. So for this one, we get to have the hands behind the head. I want you to start by pressing the head gently down into the hands, then reset the core, lift the head, and then extend the legs up. Keep those back ribs imprinting, lower the leg down a little bit, the legs down a little bit, and bring them back up. Neutral spine. You can keep a little pressure back into the hands with the head. And lift up. Remember, no movement in the lower back. Bend the knees a little bit if necessary. One more time. And then bend the knees, lower the head, release the hands. And one foot at a time down to the mat, relax. So here's the side bend. This may be a little tricky to get into well. Feel the point at the back of the head that's against the mat, and notice that your nose is pointing straight up towards the ceiling. That is going to be still true. When we bring the right ear towards the right shoulder, we still have the back of the head on the mat and the nose pointing straight up towards the ceiling. So see if you can feel that same point in the back of the head. And then gently press down into the mat, and then again with the tightening and weighting, it's really small, not an abdominal exercise. Lower down and press. You can keep the abdominals easy, and tiny unweighting, and lower and press. Really, I'm lifting maybe a couple millimeters. Gentle press, tiny little lift, and finish with a press. And back into the center. Relax there for a moment. Then feel that point at the back of the head. That's the same point that you want to be on your side bend. You're going to slide that point over to the side as you bring your left ear to your left shoulder. But think about the point at the back of the head. Nose pointing straight up. Gentle press down into the mat. And unweight the head. Feel it in the neck, not the belly. Exhale, gentle press. Keep the shoulders relaxed. And unweight the head. My hair is definitely still on the mat, and lower and press. And one more time, small unweighting. Finish with a gentle press. And then slide back into the center. Let everything relax. Okay, and then we set up for the crisscross, engage the inner core, knit and imprint, take the left foot up. Keep imprinting, remember we don't want any jolt in the back ribs as the right foot comes up. There's your neutral lower spine, hands come behind the head. Again, gentle pressure at the back of the head into the hands. Keep engaging around the inner core, knit the ribs to the opposite back pockets and lift the head. Shoulder girdle all in one piece. Start your bicycle and reach the armpit across. Keep the elbows open. Breastbone is turning, the whole shoulder girdle moving in one piece. Pelvis, of course, is very steady. And then bring the knees to the chest, put the head down. Slowly bring one knee at a time down to the floor. Relax the arms out wide. And then slowly, as though you're moving your head through honey, turn to one side. And then to the other. And one more time back and forth. Slow motion. And then pause in neutral for a moment. And then we'll turn over to the left side. So the roll of the obliques is really important in the support of the shoulder girdle. They hook in with what's called the serratus anterior, which supports the shoulder blade. When we don't have good core support, we end up kind of holding ourselves up with the external muscles, which is why we have so much tension in this upper trapezius, because we're sort of holding ourselves up from the outside mechanism rather than the inside. So the use of the core is essential for the health of the shoulder girdle. Okay, we're going to start with our clamshells, just to do a few of those. Bring the right knee as far forward as the left, the right hip a little forward of the left. Hand wherever it's comfortable. We're going to find the inner core, wrap the belt around the hips, keep the support low, and roll the ball out in the socket. Keep the pelvis nice and still. Neck and shoulders comfortable and relaxed. So if the neck is not comfortable, let's do 5 more of these. If the neck's not comfortable, you can slide a pillow between your arm and your ear, or have the arm forward with a little higher support here. Definitely want the shoulder girdle to be passive and relaxed here. And then let's straighten both legs out. Check that the neck and shoulder are comfortable. Top hand on the top waist, or fingertips on the mat in front of you. Fingertips on the mat, look at my shoulder. If you put your palm down, it rolls forward and you're more likely to brace against it. So this is more of a lifted support. This is more of a kind of sinking support. So let's go for the lifted one. Hand on the waist. Engage the inner core. Lift your organs up off of the mat. Lift both legs up. And 5 times lift the top leg up and down. Keep the neck and shoulders relaxed. Better to have the fingertips down than have tension in the neck and shoulders. 5 times lift the bottom leg. Then lower the bottom leg. Let's circle the top leg 5 times each direction. And reverse, 5 the other. And bring the leg down. Let's go back into the comfortable bent knee position. And we're going to plant the right elbow on the right waist. Reach your hand out right in front of the elbow. And then grab into a gentle fist. And this is an exercise you could do with a small weight, but we're going to do it just free to begin with. Keep your wrist straight And then roll the ball out in the socket with your elbow staying attached to the waist. And lower the wrist back, or the hand back down. So we're going to roll, external rotation in the arm, and bring it back down. Keep the elbow glued right to the side. Lift, and lower. And lift, and lower. Do that one more time. And then bring your hand behind the head. Right hand behind the head. Engage your inner core and your organ lift. Relax your left arm. And then take a side lift. We'll do this 5 times. And then relax on your back for a moment. If it's a good position for you to rest your arms up in the vertical, feel free to use that anytime. Relax your neck and shoulders. And then we're going to turn to the right side. Find a comfortable position for the neck and shoulders. Knees comfortably bent. Top hand on the top hip or wherever it's comfortable for the clamshells. Engage the inner core. Wrap the belt around. Make sure that the left knee is forward. And we do 10 on the other side. Roll the thigh out in the socket and steady the pelvis. Keep checking that the neck and shoulders are easy. And then straighten both legs out. Feet a little forward, top hand on the top waist or fingertips on the mat in front of you. Comfortable and relaxing the neck and shoulders. Engage the inner core. Lift your organs. Lift both legs up. And top leg up and down. Again, better to have the fingertips down than to feel strain in your neck. 5 lifts of the top leg. 5 times lowering the bottom leg. And the bottom leg stays down. We circle the top leg 5 times. And bring the leg down. Bend the knees comfortably. Bring your left elbow and glue it to your waist. Make a gentle fist with your left hand. Keep the left elbow in touch with the waist and lift the left hand. Roll the arm out in the socket and bring it down so your hand is right in front of the elbow. And roll out and bring it back down. And roll out and down 2 more times. And then left hand behind the head. Relax the right arm, make sure you're not bracing. Engage the inner core and the organ lift and take a side bend and lower 5 of these. Relax. And then let's turn to the stomach. Extend the arms straight out in front of you. Place the forehead down. Let your elbows be dropped down onto the floor. Engage the inner core. Knit the ribs together. Now press gently down through your palms. Raise your chest and head up off of the mat. Keep your elbows down. Tuck your hands gently back and feel your shoulder blades go down your back. And then release. Forehead, please, to the mat. Feel the length in the back of the neck. Reset the inner core and the ribs. Gentle pressure down through the palms. Tug the shoulders down the back. Keep your chin down. Pull the breastbone forward. And then release. Once more. Gentle pressure down through the palms. Engage the inner core. Knit the ribs and lift. Draw the shoulders down the back. And then release. Come up to all fours. Pull the chest forward without jutting the chin forward, breastbone forward. Then exhale, tuck your tail between your legs. Bend the elbows. Bring yourself back, hips to heels, elbows all the way down to the floor, and keep them down and inhale. Lift your chest up off of your thighs. Pull your shoulder blades down your back, again, without jutting the chin forward, and then relax down. And again, pull gently back and down with the hands. Your elbows are still down. You're going to tug back, let the shoulders come down the back, and open the chest without opening the throat. And lower and release. Should feel a lot happening in your upper back there. One more time. Draw the breastbone forward, the shoulders down the back. And then release. Okay, turn over onto your back. Find your neutral position. We're going to have the arms closer to the side than we've been working with them, but turn the palms to face each other, and you'll feel, again, the external rotation of the shoulder that allows. We're going to do a pelvic lift, so if you have something behind your head, please take it out. Feel the chin drawing gently towards the notch of the neck. Find your core support, tilt the pelvis, keep your chin down, and raise your hips, also lifting the right arm up. You're stretching up and back. Keep your wrists straight. You may or may not touch the floor. Then keep your right arm just where it is and start to roll down. Imprint the back ribs, tilt the pelvis, roll through the lower spine. Feel the stretch in the right shoulder girdle and armpit. Take an inhale and relax the shoulder. And then exhale, float the arm down. Remember to turn the ball in the socket as you move the arm. So easy floating movement in the right arm. We'll do the same thing with the left side. Find the inner core, tilt the pelvis. Begin to lift your hips up and stretch up and back with your left arm. Reaching back, keep your wrists straight. Even if you don't touch the mat, just try to keep the floor, try to keep your wrists straight. Feel the tuck of the chin. And then as you exhale again, knit the back ribs, begin to lower down, tilt the pelvis, keep your left arm back there, your chin down, big stretch in the left side, rolling through the spine. Once you're completely released, relax the left shoulder. And exhale, float the arm down, rolling the ball in the socket to move the arm. We'll do that one more time with each arm. Prepare your core muscles, tilt the pelvis, begin to lift the hips. Roll the ball in the socket of the right arm to lift it up. Keep your wrists straight, reach back. Take an inhale there, feel your chin in towards your chest. And then exhale, keep your arm back, press the back ribs down, roll through the spine, lengthen the lower back. And then stay and relax the right shoulder. And roll the ball in the socket to return your hand down to your side. One last time. Prepare the core and roll yourself up, tucking the pelvis, imprinting the ribs, lifting the left arm up and back. With the length of the back of the neck, keep your wrists straight. And when you're ready to exhale again, roll down with the arm remaining behind you. And then relax the shoulder and inhale. And roll the ball in the socket to replace your arm down to the side. You bring both knees into the chest. If you like, roll the head slowly from side to side. And then we're going to turn over to the side to come up and come into a standing position. Now stand well with the legs, the feet parallel, the legs lengthened. Feel gentle engagement of the inner core muscles around the pelvis, supporting the length of the spine, reaching the crown of the head towards the ceiling. Allow the chin to drop down and gently wrap the ribs around. Roll the arms out in the sockets. At the end of that motion, gently draw the shoulder blades down and together in the back. And then relax that. 2 more times. Gentle support of the core, ribs wrapped around to the opposite back pockets, arms rolling out in the sockets so that the palms turn out, and then gently draw the shoulder blades down the back. And soften, release. And 1 more time. Support gently with the core and roll the arms out. Feel the lift in the chest as you gently squeeze the shoulder blades and draw them down the back. And then release. Okay, now I'm going to show you a couple simple rotator cuff exercises. These are great, not just therapeutically, but preventively too. They really help get the ball in the socket well. Now we start by bringing the right arm to the side. You have your elbow glued to your side like we did when we were on the mat. Straighten out the arm and have your palm open. Then we're going to make a fist with the left hand. The left arm is helping here. And put the left fist into the right palm. And then with your exhale, isometrically, internally rotate. So you're going to move as though you're doing this motion inward. Press into your fist. Press, and then relax, and press, and relax. There's actually no movement happening there, of course. And exhale, press, and relax. Do that 1 more time. And relax. Let both arms come down to the sides. Now same thing with the left. And then bend at the elbow, pull your left elbow right into the side. It needs to stay glued to the side. Palm is open, make a fist with the right hand. That's your helper hand here. The active arm is the left one. And as you exhale, press the left palm into the right fist. And release. You'll feel a lot of activity all around the joint, even around to the sides and the arm and to the scapula. Exhale, press. Make sure that the elbow stays glued to the side. Exhale and press. And relax it 1 more time. Exhale, press. And relax. Let both arms come down. Now we're going to do an isometric external rotation. Back to the right arm, pull the elbow into the side. Again, make a fist with the left hand. Now you're going to wrap the right hand around the left fist and pull against it. So if you were moving, you'd be opening out. Externally rotating. Pull out against that fist and then release it. And exhale. Roll out in the socket, but keep your arms still and release. 2 more times. Roll it out and release. And last one. Good. Relax both arms down. And then bend at the left elbow. Glue the elbow to the side. Make a fist with the right hand. Wrap the left hand around it. And isometrically externally rotate and release. Pull out against the fist and release. No actual movement. And roll out and release, and last one, and relax. We'll do one last thing. As I mentioned, these upper trap muscles tend to get very tense and overused, so we can do some shoulder shrugs. When you intentionally engage and shorten a muscle, then it gives it a little more space to relax. So gentle engagement in the core the whole time you're standing. Pull your shoulders up to your ears, really scrunch them up, and then soften. You can roll back slightly and release them back down. And pull up, and then gently let them come back down, soften. If you have a TheraBand, this is really nice to do it with TheraBand. Of course you can do it without the TheraBand, but if you have a band, you can put it under the ball of the foot and then do that shrug with the added resistance of the band on the release. So let's just neutralize the spine to finish up. Feel the gentle core support. Pull the belly in. Let your hands slide down your legs. Let yourself hang, head heavy. Relax the neck and shoulders. And then keep the chin tucked under. Roll yourself back up, sliding the hands up the legs, lengthening, uncurling, unfurling. Roll the arms gently out in the sockets, lift the breastbone, and then relax. And there you are, standing at your full height, hopefully your neck and shoulders feeling well attended to. I hope that gets you off to a good start. If you're going to go rake and do fall chores, do some more of this at the end of the day too. So next Saturday, the 17th, I will not be here live. If you've been doing a lot of work outside, repeat this class. It's a good one to counteract all kinds of physical activity. All right, hope you have a great day. And see you soon. Thanks. Bye.